Hi guys, it's Ryan from The Surfer's Journey. Recently I had access to the CI 2 Pro, which you may have seen in this year's Stab in the Dark with Italo. I really enjoy watching the Stab in the Dark series. I think they give a great insight into the best boards in the market, depending on what category they're actually showcasing in that season. Well, this season was high performance shortboards, and who better to comment on those than Italo himself. The only problem being though that very few of us could even surf close to Italo. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because I wanted to make a board review on the CI 2 Pro that is using that board in everyday waves, and also an everyday surfer who's actually surfing that board. It's a bit more relative that way, and I think we can relate to it a little bit more when we see someone who's at a similar level to us in waves that we have access to. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Surfing this board was very daunting. It's been a long time since I've surfed a high performance shortboard, so stay tuned and I'll let you know how it went. Before I jump into today's board review, there's a couple of things I need to give some background on. It's been almost 10 years since I've surfed a high performance shortboard. Most recently I surfed the Channel Islands Fever. That was probably about 5 years ago, and I surfed it for maybe a dozen times, but where I live the waves are pretty average, lacking quality, and so I tend to gravitate towards a fish or maybe a high performance small wave board, because I feel like that will be better in the kind of waves that I have access to, because all I want to do is have fun out in the surf. I don't want to try and necessarily take my surfing to the next level. I just want to make the most of the average waves that most of the time I have access to. But after watching the latest Stab in the Dark, I thought that maybe the CI 2 Pro could be the high performance shortboard that I'm missing from my quiver. Now the reason for that, without going into too much detail about that board, because if you want to know all the nitty gritty, there's a lot of other videos and information out there that will talk to you about the designs and the in and outs of that board. So I'm just going to talk about how it felt for me and why I chose it. But in a nutshell, the year before this year's Stab in the Dark, the CI Pro won with Jack Robinson. That was designed for high performance waves like Hawaii. Then they thought that for Italo, they would make the rocker reduced on the CI 2 Pro, but everything else is the same, it's just slightly flatter, but it still very much fits that high performance shortboard category. Now, because it has that flatter rocker, I thought, well, that would be better for me because I don't surf waves with a lot of quality. So that's probably as high performance as I can go. And given that it was the best board in his opinion in the world right now in that category, I thought, well, why not give it a shot? And I've been patiently waiting for the right day to actually be able to take it out. Now, it's been about 1 month since I've had a surf. It's been horrible where I live, but recently the surf looked like it was going to be pretty good. Now, the wave that I surf in these videos is probably renowned for being one of the worst waves in the world. It's fat, flat, and slow, and lacks quality 9 times out of 10. In saying that, it does have its day, and this particular session would have to be close to almost as good as it gets, but there's certainly moments that you'll be able to see where it's showing its true colors, where it's fat, flat, and slow. And in those kind of conditions, that board really struggled. It died, it was really struggling to hold speed over those fat sections. The other thing that was hard to get used to in waves that weren't really giving me speed or giving me that many quality sections were that it was really hard because it's not very forgiving. Having that high performance outline, it's not very forgiving. So anytime you move your weight anywhere, very reactive, which is good when you get a lot of speed and you get a good section. You know that you can trust that board to turn as tight as you want, as hard as you want, and as fast as you want in its most critical section as you could actually want. So they're the good things, and those moments were few and far between in this session, but they were there, and you'll be able to see pretty clearly that when they did happen, it was a highlight, and the board felt unreal on those sections. And I would love to get this board in quality conditions where I had consistently good waves with consistently good sections. I think this board would be amazing. And it's definitely a board I'm going to keep in my quiver, despite the fact that these sessions are few and far between for me. I really enjoyed it, and I know that the reason why all the pros are surfing these boards is that it really does allow you to push your surfing to the absolute limits. A couple of the turns I did in this session, I haven't really done in a long time because the high performance small wave boards and the fishers that I sometimes surf, they don't really allow you to do that. When you get a really steep critical section with a lot of speed, they tend to get a little bit slippery, but having that additional rocker and the more high performance outline, this board allows you to really push as hard as you want, and that's a lovely feeling to have. And that's how you're going to take your surfing to the next level, by pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, by using that speed, by turning harder and tighter in those steeper sections, you know, whether it's a carve or re-entry or whatever it is. So if you're looking at getting a board that's going to help you progress and you have access to high quality waves sometimes, I would definitely recommend that this board could be for you, but I would suggest you need to be a middle level, intermediate and above. If you're low level, intermediate and certainly a beginner, this board's probably not for you, and there are other designs that are a good stepping stone to work your way into a board like this. Jumping onto this board for the first time and just paddling it around, it's the first time I've felt that feeling of having not much foam up close to where your chest is and where the nose is. It felt very light, very thin, and that just goes to show that the boards that I usually surf are wide and thick up the front to help get you into waves. So help paddling and help speed generation. So these kind of boards are harder to paddle, absolutely. So you need to be fitter and stronger to be able to paddle them, especially if you're going to go for a lower volume board, which is going to allow you to probably surf a little bit more high performance. Now the other thing to consider is that they don't generate speed very well. So if you're surfing waves that don't have that opportunity to give you speed, you're going to have to think, is that the right board for you? And this particular session, I probably wouldn't have ordinarily taken this board out. I would have gone for my high performance small wave board, which is the Paizel Red Tiger. That's probably what I would have surfed if I didn't have this board that I really wanted to surf. Guys, thanks for watching the video today. I hope that if you've been looking at the CI 2.0 Pro and you've been wondering, is this board for me? Well, I hope this video has actually cleared that up for you, and seeing an everyday surfer surfing that board in everyday waves, I think should put it into a bit of a better light for the majority of us out there. You've seen Italo surf it, now you've seen an everyday surfer actually have a surf on it, and now you can see if that will be right for you. Thanks a lot guys, I'll catch you in the water. And guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe now, and remember that you can follow us on Instagram at The Surfer's Journey, and you can also check out my website at www.thesurfersjourney.com.au. Remember, we do offer surf coaching packages for beginner to intermediate level surfers from 1-on-1 all the way up to 1 to 10. So let me know if you're interested, we'll be able to make something work for you.